Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jesse, the Couch Movie Critic, and today I am doing the first review, or the first part review of Lost in Space, the new Netflix original show, which is a recreation for those of you on the young side of a TV show, a classic sci-fi show from Christ was from before I was born, leave it at that, called Lost in Space. There was a film in the 90s starring William Hurt, and now Netflix has done a Netflix original TV series. And so far I've watched the first 4 episodes. I want to give my early impressions of the show, early impressions of the writing, the special effects, the cast, and everything. And I will follow up as I get deeper into the series. So let's talk a little bit about it. It originally was posted on Netflix as of April 13th, so that was this past Friday. It's a 10-episode series, and it is amazingly well done. When we're talking about production quality, let's start with first things first. This show, the film quality, the special effects quality, the physical effects quality is on par with an actual film. I mean, it looks and feels like, for the first 4 episodes, like you've watched 2 full films. And I'm talking on par with special effects for films like Star Wars, The Avengers. It just has such an amazing production quality. The CGI, even though there's not a ton of it actively used throughout the series, because a lot of it's physical set pieces. But for example, the robot is gorgeous. The robot is gorgeous when he first appears, that he has 4 arms and his legs are split into kind of these like lower 4 things. And he eventually transforms into a more humanoid appearance. When he transforms, there are parts of him that you could see right through in his abdomen, his chest line, some of his arm parts you could see right through. And it's so well done, it's seamless. His face is basically, it's like the stars you're looking into. It's constantly this shifting lights in his actual faceplate, which, again, for a TV show is impressive, bar none. Netflix is really stepping up the game. They're making TV shows on the big networks need to step up their game, because I don't think there's anything out there that's on par with the visual quality of this film. This is high def on an amazing level. As I mentioned earlier, the robot is magnificent. The pacing is fantastic of this show. Episode 4 was a little slow, but it was because it was more emotionally driven than action driven, like some of the other episodes were. But overall, it has a fantastic script. The writers are bar none. Director or team, I think, is amazing, because what they're putting out, it's hour-long films. It's absolutely amazing. Kind of reminds me of what they did in the early 90s with Batman, the animated series. Every episode felt like almost like it was done on a film scale, and it's impressive. It's got an amazing cast. A lot of new faces, a lot of actors that are kind of those, oh, I know that face, but where do I know him from? So, I mean, you got an actor, Molly Parker, playing Mrs. Robinson, which is the mother of the show, which they have twisted on its head, because the other series saw the father as the head of this spacefaring family, referring to his wife for advice, or referring to a side character called Don West for advice. In this series, we see Mrs. Robinson taking charge. Her husband is played by Toby Steff, Mr. Robinson, another great character. Again, guy that I know his face, I really don't know his background too well, but he is fantastic. You can really believe his character. You've got Maxwell Jenkins playing the infamous Will Robinson, Danger Will Robinson, which, yes, by the way, the robot does say it in the series. You've got Taylor Russell playing Judy Robinson. You've got Mina Sundwall, if I hope I'm pronouncing that right, playing Penny, the sister, as well. You've got Ignacio Saracho playing Don West. You've got Posey Parker playing Dr. Smith, another character that the series turned on its head. Dr. Smith was, I forget his name now, but My Favorite Martian played the original Dr. Smith. Gary Oldman played Dr. Smith in the film. And now Parker Posey, who, for those of you that are sci-fi buffs or superhero buffs and comic book buffs, you'll know her best as Lex Luthor's girl in Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh 2006 Superman. It didn't do great. A lot of people hate it. It still holds a near and dear spot. I'm a huge fan of Superman and Batman, my 2 favorites in the superhero universe. So I immediately recognize her face. And you've got Brian Steele playing the robot. For those of you guys that aren't movie buffs and don't know who Brian Steele are, I will tell you right now that you have seen Brian Steele if you're into any kind of sci-fi or fantasy genre. And I'll tell you exactly why. If you've seen the Underworld films, he has played Lycans. He played William, the Lycan, in the second Underworld film. Or third Underworld film, I'm sorry. If you are a fan of Hellboy, you've seen him. He's played multiple characters. He is like the giant muscular version of Doug Jones. He plays the larger beast. He was, I think his name was Mr. Big or Mr. I forget what, the guy with the metal fist that fights Hellboy in the sequel. He also played the bridge troll. He played several others. I mean, he was Samael in the first Hellboy as well. I mean, the dude's credits go down the line of giant monsters for years. Brian Steele is an amazing character. Now let's talk a little bit, and I know I've touched on already, and I try to keep my review spoiler light so as not to ruin it for you. But I am going to touch on a couple key points about the story so you understand what's happening and what's going back and forth. So, Lost in Space, let's boil it down to soup to nuts. This is a show about an Earth where we've damaged our environment. Meteorites are now crashing towards Earth, and we now need to get the hell off of Earth as well, on top of everything else. The Robinson family is a husband, a wife, 2 daughters, and a son. And they all wind up being for different reasons in space. And of course, the show begins with the carrier ship, the Resolute, being destroyed and them having to make an emergency landing on an unknown planet. Lo and behold, something happens, and I figured it out. I might be wrong, but I think I've figured it out. It looks like when the crash happens, and this is a little bit spoilerish, that it looks like the engines explode, and I'm assuming they were using some kind of warp drive system, and what it did was it ripped a hole in the fabric of space, creating a wormhole, and that's how they wind up lost in space. Duh. And them crash landing on a planet, and the horrifying ramifications that they go through, even up until finding the robot, who the robot is the first sentient life form that they have found. There's a plot point there. They believe he's an alien. He may not be. He might be something completely different. We don't know as of yet. We meet Dr. Smith, who Dr. Smith finally has an understanding why the character previously was such a scumbag. And you think, oh, if we're sending key people off-world to recolonize, would it be a scumbag? But no, this Dr. Smith, she is a scumbag. Died in the wool. Don West is just as much fun as he was in the original series. And the world that they're going to, that they crash landed on in the beginning so far is absolutely gorgeous. Where the future will take the series, don't know. I've still got 6 more episodes to watch, and I would not be surprised if the show keeps the pacing it's keeping now, that we don't see a second season somewhere in the future, and maybe even a 3rd or a 4th down the road, because so far, my wife, who is not a sci-fi girl, she doesn't like space stuff. She absolutely hates the idea of being lost in space. Actually enjoys the show. She likes the show, which blows me away. That speaks volumes for the quality and the content of the film. So if you haven't had a chance to go check it out, please make sure you guys start watching it on Netflix. It's a great show. I can't wait to finish it. I can't wait to see what happens. I will do some follow-up videos on it as I finish. It may take me some time. I am usually not one to sit and watch 4 episodes in a row. I don't do a lot of binge watching. I watch them spread over a period of time. So it may take me a couple weeks, but I will follow up with some other videos regarding it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you've watched it all the way through, please be nice. Don't spoil it for anybody. Don't spoil it for me. But please comment if you enjoyed it, if it's worth making it through the other 6 episodes. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks and have a great night.